Good morning, dear students. So, we were studying a particular chapter, that is economic importance of bacteria and fungi. So, till now we have completed what we have completed. We have already completed the very first part, that is water bacteria, and the next part, that is the economic importance of bacteria in medicinal purpose. So, today we will be studying from bacteria role in agriculture. Okay. So, the very first point is, what do we understand by agriculture? See, agriculture means what? Agriculture means that a particular suppose the crops, this crops comes from agriculture, right? So today we will be studying about the role of bacteria in agriculture. So good morning, dear students, and welcome to your biology tutorial classes, and this is your Shomodev sir. So please open Conscience Biology ICSC class 9, and we will be following that for the ICSC students. So welcome, and let's see what we can study in this particular chapter. Bacteria role in agriculture. The very first point is nitrogen fixing bacteria. So what do we understand by nitrogen fixing bacteria? See, a special category of soil bacteria, that is rhizobium, is found living in small nodules on the roots of the leguminous plants such as beans. These bacteria pick up free nitrogen from the soil and atmosphere and convert it into soluble nitrates. These nitrates are used by the host plant and also by other plants sown later on the same soil. So, see, the leguminous plants, what happens, my dear students, leguminous plants needs a higher amount of nitrogen for their particular life cycle or for their particular role in say whatever you can say, for production of flower or production of crops or anything. Okay, so these leguminous plants needs a huge amount of nitrogen. Now how is nitrogen available in our atmosphere? It is available in the particular form of what? In the particular form of air, okay, or it is available in the gaseous form. Now how we can actually convert it from gaseous form to the form in which the plant can absorb them. Okay, so for this reason, what happens, these nitrogen fixing bacteria, or what we call it as the leguminous bacteria, okay, or this rhizobium, okay, these rhizobiums helps in converting nitrogen from the gaseous state to its particular state in which the plants can absorb. Okay, so see, this is particularly the role of nitrogen fixing bacteria. Now certain free living bacteria in the soil like Azotobacter and Clostridium, please underline this or mark this, that is given in green color, okay, use the free nitrogen of the soil and convert it to ammonia with hydrogen, which in turn gets converted to amino acid and nitrates enriching the soil. So these particular bacteria not only for one time they convert this particular soil with nitrogen, no, it is like after say for a certain period one particular leguminous plant is been cultivated. Now that leguminous plant is now finished with cultivation, there are now new crops. So these particular bacteria also help the new crops to, or they help with the nitrogen. Okay, so the next one is nitrifying bacteria. What is nitrifying bacteria? Plant need nitrogen. So what are nitrifying bacteria? See, plant need nitrogen for synthesizing proteins, but they cannot make use of the free atmospheric nitrogen that I was talking about, which they absorb from the soil through roots. These nitrates are replenished in the soil by bacteria through the process of nitrification. So what is nitrification? Nitrification is a particular process by which these nitrogens are converted from the gaseous substance to the nitrites. For this, some bacteria first convert the nitrogenous waste of animals and the dead remain of the plant and the animals into ammonia. Ammonia is then converted into ammonium compound, which in turn are first converted into nitrites by bacteria such as Nitrosomonas and then into nitrates by bacteria such as Nitrobacter. Each of these steps is brought about by a specific bacteria. So my dear students, please follow this nitrogen cycle. This nitrogen cycle is very important, and even drawings can come from this nitrogen cycle. Okay. Now we will be coming to denitrifying bacteria. So what are denitrifying bacteria? These are bacteria present in the soil which break down the soil nitrates to release nitrogen gas or N2 that enters the atmosphere. Example, Pseudomonas. So denitrifying process is the reverse of nitrification. Okay. Here bacteria present in the soil which break down the soil nitrates to release nitrogen gas, and in nitrification what happens, the nitrogen gas gets converted into soil nitrates, and here soil nitrates is been converted to nitrogen gas. So please don't get confused. Now bacteria, will be coming to bacteria role in industry. Okay, see, so what are the roles of bacteria in a particular or in a specific industry? Bacteria have a very extensive use in industry. You have already read about their role in producing certain types of medicines on a large scale. Here are two more out of several other uses. What are they? Number one is different flavors of tea, and number two is leather tanning. Okay, so how it is used in different leather tanning industry or in flavors of tea. So quickly let me write it down, the two other uses. How many of you have drank tea? How many of you have drank tea? Or in specific I can tell, তোমরা কতজন এখন অবধি চা খেয়েছো? Now if any one of you is a tea lover, then you will understand that there are different flavors of tea. There are particularly different flavors of tea. So what are these flavors of tea? That comes from particular bacteria. And second one is leather tanning industry. How many of you can tell me that how many of you have ever in your life seen a leather product, be it you can say be it a wallet, be it a belt or anything. So how many of you have particularly seen that? See, different flavors of tea are produced by certain bacteria. This is termed as tea curing. Okay, or it is a process of tea curing. So personally I was in tea industry for a couple of months, so I know how these bacteria are used, or like how this process of tea is been done. So don't worry, I'll tell that when we meet physically, we will be sharing such experiences. Okay, now leather tanning is primarily brought about by sunlight, but certain bacteria break down the soft perishable part of the skin or the hide. চামড়া যেটা থাকে, লেদার যেটা অ্যানিমাল লেদার হয় বা যেটা স্কিন হয়, এই স্কিনটাতে যাতে খুব ইজিভাবে এই স্কিনটা ব্রেকডাউন হয় অ্যান্ড ফর্ম লেদার, দ্যাট ইজ ফর দ্যাট রিজন bacteria is used. Now comes spoilage of food by bacteria. So how is food spoiled by bacteria? Many bacteria spoil cooked food, milk, fruits and vegetable by the process of decaying or fermentation, particularly during summer. We are quite habituated or quite natural to this, right? This spoilage may sometimes to the extent of causing food poisoning. Please underline, botulism is a very serious food poisoning due to a special bacterium sometimes found in tin and sealed foods. Okay, the affected cans get disintegrated at their end with gas which gushes out on opening. Such suspected cans or tins of food should be completely discarded. Therefore preservation of food and making it free of disease causing germs is very necessary. Now what is food preservation, or how we can preserve food? Food preservation can be brought about by several methods. So what are the specific method? Number one, boiling or heating at high temperature, or what we call as sterilization. What happens, you see, if you have a small baby in your house, you have seen that what your parents do is whenever you regularly boil water bottles or the utensils that baby use. Okay, that is a process of sterilization and it kills the bacteria. Okay, boiling water kills all bacteria except the spores. High temperature about 110 degrees centigrade at increased pressure as in autoclave or in pressure cooker kill even the spores. The canning industry employs heating to kill bacteria before packing and sealing food. The second process is salting, that we are very commonly termed with that. What is applying salt? Whenever for example you bought raw fishes from the market, okay, now you have seen that if you have bought extra fish, then your mother just applies salt over it and keep it for a long time or for further use. Okay, that is the use of salt is a way of preserving the food. Now dehydration or drying, you all know that from a particular food product, if water content is being removed or is being lessened up, then that particular food gets spoiled after a very long time. So it is a process of food preservation. Now irradiation, what is irradiation? Radioactive radiations have been tried in sterilizing certain foods without the food becoming radioactive, but the particles is not yet in much use. Similarly, ultraviolet light is found used not only in sterilizing the air in schools, hospitals and factories, but also killing mold spores in bakeries. You have seen that ultraviolet light is being kept in certain restaurants or cafeterias. This is because that. And next point is pasteurization. So what is pasteurization? Okay, to understand pasteurization, wait a bit. Suppose these are some bacteria, okay, and it is contained in a particular, say, liquid. They are contained in a particular liquid. So what we will do is, we first will heat that. Okay, we will heat it at a very high temperature, and after that we will suddenly cool it at a very low temperature, and this particular process is carried out in a very short period of time. I am repeating again. What happens? It is carried out in a very short period of time. First heat and then cool. Okay. Now these high fluctuation of temperature within a very short period of time, bacteria cannot overgo that or overcome that, and as a result what happens, it gets killed. Okay, if you have ever seen a milk pouch, you have seen this written there, homogeneously pasteurized milk or pasteurized milk or double toned milk. What is that? It is nothing but the milk at the factory is been pasteurized so that it can kill bacteria. Even after buying that packet of milk, what we do in our houses, we do the pasteurization in the same way. Okay, we do not know the name, but it is actually nothing but the pasteurization. Okay, so you have seen a common term, দুধ বাড়িতে নিয়ে এসেছি, দুধটা জাল দিতে হবে, রাইট? বা দুধ জাল না দিয়ে খাওয়া যাবে না, কাঁচা দুধ খাওয়া যায় না। সো এই যে জাল দিতে হবে, দিস জাল দেওয়া is nothing but pasteurization. But what we do is, we just simply boil it. It is not possible for us to chill it at a very low temperature, but yet from the factory itself it is bacteria free. So if you buy a packet of or a pouch of milk, you can directly consume it. You do not need any other like again to boil it and drink or consume it. Okay, so this is pasteurization. Pasteurization is a technique of partial sterilization applied usually to milk. The milk is heated to a temperature of about 60 degree for a period of 30 minutes and then chilled quickly. Pasteurization kills a majority of the bacteria that are present, including the disease causing one. Remember, pasteurization does not completely sterilize the milk. Okay, it is just a partial sterilization process. Refrigeration or cold temperature, microbes, bacteria and mold do not grow and multiply or below the freezing point of water. Chilling of milk and keeping vegetables and fruits in a cold storage are popularly method for preserving them. Frozen fish or frozen vegetables keep fresh for a longer time. So we all know that a product, if we keep it outside, it will definitely spoil, but inside a refrigerator or a fridge it will stay in a good condition for a like longer period of time, right? Okay, now is strong concentration and chemicals. What are they? Jams and pickles do not get spoiled. They have a strong concentration of sugar and salt respectively. The increased concentration of solute causes plasmolysis and death of any bacteria or mold that may creep in. Sometimes preservatives like sodium benzoate are also added to the tinned foods and squashes. Okay, now we will go to bacterial disease in plant and animals. In plants, two very common diseases of plants caused by bacteria are black rot of master and cauliflower and bacterial blight of copia. Okay, so mark this. In animals, two common bacterial diseases of cattle among animals are anthrax and bovine tuberculosis. In humans, some common bacterial diseases of humans are as follows. What are they? They are whooping coughs, cholera, tuberculosis, diphtheria, typhoid, pneumonia, tetanus, etc. And now the last point of this bacterial part is bioweapons. So what do we mean by bioweapons? It has came to knowledge that some countries may be preparing a germ bomb which when exploded may simply release disease germs such as anthrax bacteria, which may take epidemic shape and cause widespread death generation after generation. So exactly the thing that this particularly novel coronavirus or COVID virus is doing. Though it is not a germ bomb or none of the countries have planned to harm anyone, it is someone says that by an accident it came into effect, by an accident in the lab it came into effect, or by just testing purpose it gets spreaded up. So don't worry about that. Whatever, what I was trying to tell you is like these particular germs, this particular germ bomb is nothing but a collection of the germs in a place where if it is being exploded to any of the place, it will cause an epidemic and it will cause a huge or a massive death in that particular region. So this is known as bioweapon. With that, we have completed economic importance of bacteria. On the next tutorial video or in the next class, we will be continuing with economic importance of fungi as well. So take care of yourself, take care of your family. Stay safe, stay happy, enjoy a lot. Also don't forget to teach or go through your studies. Take care. Thank you.